Hello, I'm Olivia Carey.
And I'm Brian Walsh, and welcome to ICTV. Stars, celebrities, and masters of various fields all gathered together this past Sunday to celebrate the 2015 Oscar Awards ceremony. And here at ICTV, we will recap everything from fashion and surprises to winners and speeches.
And now over to Robert Boncardo, who is covering the reactions of the Iona College community to the Oscars.
Welcome to the 87th Oscars.
This year's Oscars was something special, not because of Neil Patrick Harris's comedic behavior as host, nor because of the participants' amazing outfits, but rather because of the 29 new Oscar trophies handed to the brand new winners.
And the Oscar goes to... You do it.
The Oscar goes to...
The Oscar goes to...
The night topped off at Dolby Theater with J.K. Simmons winning an Oscar for performance by an actor in a supporting role of his role in the film Whiplash. It ended with Birdman winning Best Picture of the Year, which gave the film 4 awards to end its amazing night.
So J.K. Simmons winning that award was actually really great because J.K. Simmons to me is a very underrated actor, and it's finally great that his talents got recognized that night.
It was interesting that the best actress, best actor went to 2 roles that were roles for people inflicted with disease.
Despite such a great night, there were many fans who were left in awe as films such as American Sniper, starring Bradley Cooper, only took in 1 award. People were even more shocked to see that Michael Keaton, the frontrunner for performance by an actor in a leading role, felt the first-time Oscar nominee Eddie Raymond for his performance as Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything.
There was a real emotional connection with it. You know, you had Bradley Cooper's role where you felt that it wasn't just cold. You know, it was very emotional. You could see yourself in them, and how it's like just like in Saving Private Ryan, you had an emotional connection with the character, and you felt everything they felt. And for it to not win as many awards as I expected it to, it's really disappointing. It's very disappointing.
Well, you know, I mean, we saw the return of Michael Keaton with Birdman this year, and really he looked like the front runner. But with Eddie Redmayne, absolutely you have to credit him. He did an exceptional job portraying Stephen Hawking. It was a very tough task that he was dealt with, and he did an exceptional job with it.
After an amazing event for Hollywood, one can only expect what is coming in the next 12 months in this film industry.
And the actor goes to... The Oscar goes to... J.K. Simmons Whiplash.
Hello, I'm Armand Matteo, and towards the beginning of the ceremonies, J.K. Simmons took home the Oscar for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for his role as Terrence Fletcher in Damien Chazelle's Whiplash.
Thank you. Thank you to the Academy. Thank you to everyone involved in the making of Whiplash.
The film had Simmons playing a dedicated yet cutthroat conductor of Miles Teller's character. Andrew Neiman, a young drummer, Fletcher is pushing to become greater than his idols. This was Simmons' first win at the Academy Awards, with him accepting the Oscar with a speech urging the audience to call their parents and tell them that you love them.
Call your mom. Everybody. I'm told it's like 1 billion people or so. Call your mom, call your dad. If you're lucky enough to have a parent or 2 alive on this planet, call them. Don't text, don't email. Call them on the phone. Tell them you love them.
Well said, and congratulations, Mr. Simmons.
And the Oscar goes to... Patricia Arquette, Boyhood.
Soon after, Patricia Arquette also received her very first Academy Award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for her portrayal of Olivia Evans in Richard Linklater's Boyhood.
Our time to have wage equality once and for all, and equal rights for women in the United States of America.
Linklater's ambitious effort was filmed over the course of 12 years and saw Arquette playing the equally ambitious mother of the main character played by Eller Coltrane. She soon thanked the Academy and all involved in the film for her award and quickly switched gears by advocating for equal rights and wages for women all across America. Thank you, Miss Arquette, and congratulations. Let's head back to the studio now.
Welcome back to ICTV's coverage of the Oscars. I'm Olivia Carey.
And I'm Brian Walsh. We now go over to a report about the surprises that occurred at this year's Oscar Awards with Roberto and David.
How you guys doing tonight? The Oscars was full of surprises, as always. Neil Patrick Harris was this year's host. He had an eventful Oscars. What did you think of his performance as host?
Well, I thought he was a bit iffy, you know. What did you think?
Well, to be honest, I think a lot of people were talking about how he came out on stage naked or just his underwear. I think people were like...
I was really not trying to see that.
Well, that takes a lot of guts. And it takes a lot of guts and a lot of confidence to just come out naked and be like, okay. And then he didn't even mention it. He just came out and just proceeded.
It was part of his skit. He got locked out of his dressing room, right?
Yeah, right.
No, I was really not trying to see that. I'm sorry.
I know, well, and I'm sure a lot of girls were happy to see that. Us guys.
I don't know why, because it's not that they're gonna be able to land.
Yeah, exactly.
Land him.
But still, I thought it was it was good. It was good. It was funny. You know, they were trying to make a joke out of it, but it got there.
I don't know. And then he was also joking the entire night. You know, he made some pretty iffy jokes. There was this one specific moment when I believe Dana Perry, she had won one of the Oscars, and she was talking about suicide, and all of a sudden he comes out, and first of all, she wore a dress that had a whole bunch of balls on it, and he comes out and he's like, you know, it takes a lot of balls to wear that dress. So, you know, his jokes got pretty weird throughout the night.
Yeah, I'll give you that. You know, some of his jokes were kind of trying to go a little far. You know, they were trying to reach a little bit, but I'll give it a so-so performance out of him.
Right, I agree with you.
And Lady Gaga, you know, what did you think of? No, she's always in for a weird performance, but this performance was spectacular. I thought. What did you think of her performance?
I couldn't agree more. I thought it was completely coming out of left field from Lady Gaga. She surprised me. I didn't expect this from her. She wore a beautiful dress. She performed amazing. You know, her voice sounded beautifully, and yeah, this is something that we don't normally see from Lady Gaga. So yeah, it was a 10 out of 10. Even Julie Andrews was left in awe.
Yeah, she's really known for making a statement with what she does. You know, with her outfits. She once wore raw meat for her dress.
That's right. She wore a raw meat dress. Was it at the VMAs Awards?
Yeah, right. I just thought that the performance was spectacular. It really made a statement about, you know, she's a good performer.
That's right. And also another performance we saw was John Legend and Common, who also ended up taking home gold.
Yeah.
What did you think of that performance?
That was another spectacular. You know, those are the two performances that really stood out to me. John Legend and Common and Lady Gaga was really spectacular.
That might have been my favorite moment of the night.
Yeah, me
especially
too.
That people were crying in the audience. You know, we saw David Oyelowo, he was crying. Chris Pine was crying. I mean, one of the most buff people in the world. We have him crying to John Legend and Common.
It's safe to say, you know, it was really surprising Oscars. It was eventful Oscars, and I really enjoyed it, the show.
Right. We'll see what next year has in store. But anyways, I'm Roberto Ayala.
I'm David Giacomino.
We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome. I'm Liz Mary.
I'm Annabelle Rios.
And we're here with Fashion 5.0. Tonight, we're going to be looking at some of the most controversial outfits of this year's Oscars awards show.
Right. First, we have Julianne Moore wearing this weird potato sack daisy flower dress.
I wish I knew what it was. I didn't even think that those middle circles were flowers. I had no idea what they were. They do absolutely nothing for her waistline. Not my cup of tea.
No, it's completely unflattering. I don't know why she wore that. I wish she would have worn a belt or something. It would have made this dress a little bit better.
A belt, a different color, maybe a different dress.
Yep.
Next, we have, my favorite, Anna Kendrick. She was wearing a pink flowy dress. It had a nice chest space in the middle, made her look very classy, not trashy. And her hair was very nice, slipped back up. It was cute.
Yeah, I really love the color on her. It suits her skin tone incredibly. I think she just hit it out of the park.
I really like the neck accent. It's what made the outfit.
And next we have Lady Gaga's outfit.
No. This is the Despicable Me outfit.
Oh my God.
I feel like those gloves really look like the Minion Gru gloves that they had for the movie Despicable Me. I feel like it was extra. She didn't have to go there, but what can you expect from Lady Gaga?
I feel like she looks like she just got done washing her dishes and then came to the award show.
It's
the dress
a weird
isn't that
shape.
bad though. The dress isn't that bad. It's really pretty.
It's crazy.
But the gloves are terrible.
I feel like she tried to make too big of a fashion statement, which brings us finally to Lupita Nyong'o.
Nyong'o.
Yeah. She was wearing a pearl dress up top. Pearl dress that created so much controversy because the pearls are fake.
They're fake? I didn't know
They're
that.
fake.
I didn't know that at all.
They stole the dress and realized that the pearls on them had absolutely no value.
I didn't know that at all, but I didn't hate the dress, but I didn't like the collar or the material on the top. She looked like a pirate.
I think it could have been a different color. I think she couldn't have, she shouldn't have a treasure chest on her body. It was just not working for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like this dress. I think she looked beautiful, but the dress was just not working for me.
Right. Well, we've spoken enough about this year's trends. That's it for tonight's segment of Fashion 5-0. See you next time.
I'm Ryan Holler. This year's Oscars have gathered some of the greatest performers of today at the Adobe Theater this past Sunday. If it wasn't for the great performances, it was the special speeches that has happened this past Sunday, starting off with Patricia Arquette, who accepted the award for Best Supporting Actress. She expressed equality for women, and Patricia Arquette just was really attacking with such great authority, and she's very passionate for women getting equal pay or equal rights, and that's a big thing. Hopefully, will get accomplished sometime in the near future. Graham Moore, who won for Best Adapted Screenplay, have expressed there's so many people dealing with issues within themselves, who are people who are lesbian, who are gay, and he expressed an excellent point: just stay true to who you are, because if people don't like you for who you are, then don't focus on that people. Don't waste your time. Just be who you are, and that's what Graham Moore expressed in his speech. John Legend and Common, who won for Best Original Song in Summer, which is Glory, who performed that song, they've expressed that a lot of blacks are incarcerated for so many crimes, and there's been less equality recently because of the issues we had in Ferguson and New York. And if we all come together, we can create a much better world with less racism and nobody judging people by their skin. I'm Rondane Holler, signing off.
Thank you, Rondane. We will send it over to Spring and Justin discussing the diversity or lack thereof at this year's Oscars.
Hello, I'm Justin Rashard here with
Spring Gonzalez, hello.
And we're here to talk about the fact that we just experienced the whitest Oscars in quite some time. Actually, in 20 years that there hasn't been a white Oscars.
Since 1995. Mind you, I was a wee little baby, so I was 1 year old.
Yes, but it was astounding that out of 20 awards for Best Actor, there was no person of color to be nominated.
Mind you, there's 20 nominations, and not one single person was of color.
And we see snubs, we see exclusions, and we're just wondering, we have to discuss right now, what's the deal with that? I mean, it might start for the fact that the Oscars started in 1927, and it's always been an old man's house. Out of 6,000 members, there's 94% white, 6% are of color, and then 86% of these people are actually over 50. So it's a very, very
on top of that, it's such a shame that the only ones who actually won, which was for Selma, which is surprising because Selma is a movie about Martin Luther King. It was Common and John Legend, both great artists, but it was because of the song itself, just because it's gotten so much whirlwind, because it is about race issues.
Yes.
Which is great. I love that. Absolutely love that.
It's a fitting song for a fitting movie.
But what is going on with the Oscars?
Yes.
It's something that I've watched since I was 7 years old, and all of a sudden, this is the first time in two decades that not one person was of color. So what kind of message does that say to me?
Yes, and I think it says a lot about how the actors and acting directors were taking this Oscar stuff. Ava DuVernay, she was saying that she was actually not sad for herself, but for her lead actor that wasn't nominated for an Oscar.
Which is David Oyelowo, which I may have butchered his name.
Yes, and it's amazing that someone that has a movie with 99% approval on IMDb, that's astounding, did not get even a nomination.
And it's about such an important figure during the civil rights movement, which is ridiculous. And not to mention that the director herself, she's a woman.
So even going back to that, there's only been 2 women that have ever won Best Director Actually, one woman, because she was not nominated, and that was Catherine Bigelow in 2009 for Hurt Locker. And Ava DuVernay would have been the first woman to be nominated, and if she won, she would have been the second woman ever.
And it's absolutely great to make jokes. I'm very happy that Neil Patrick Harris felt the need to say that tonight we honor Hollywood's best and widest, I mean brightest. But let's be real. What are we going to do about this lack of diversity in the Oscars? Is this something we're going to see recurring, or are we actually going to do something about it and speak up?
You know, Spike Lee had an interesting thing, because 25 years ago, he had a movie, Do the Right Thing, being snubbed from the Oscars. And then that same year, Driving Miss Daisy actually did not. It actually won Best Picture. He's saying that they should not worry about the Oscars. They should worry about if they can have an effect, the movie can have an effect for 25 years after. And that's astounding to say for a filmmaker like Spike Lee, to someone up and coming.
Exactly. So I can't wait to see how the Oscars are going to handle this in the future. I'm Spring Gonzalez.
I'm Justin Ratchard. Thanks for having us.
Up next, we will have a special report on the film American Sniper and the controversies surrounding it with Joe and Anthony.
Anthony Carlo here alongside Joe Archino breaking down the Oscars. American Sniper bypassed Birdman in the box office but could not do the same in the Oscars. The Clint Eastwood directed film was nominated for 6 Academy Awards. However, it only managed to win 1 for Best Sound Editing. Best Picture was taken by Birdman, a film that has grossed $76 million worldwide since August. American Sniper, on the other hand, has made $428 million. Bradley Cooper starred in the movie that is now being considered the most successful war flick ever made. He plays Chris Kyle, the deadliest sniper in American history. Kyle had 4 tours in Iraq between 2003 and 2009. Joe, you know, with all the money this movie made, it really seemed as if Americans were pulling for this movie to be what it was. They were going to the movies, they were seeing this film. Why did a film that grossed so much less wind up winning in the end?
Well, I'll tell you, Anthony, I mean, it's disappointing because the American people spoke. American Sniper was by far the clear choice of the American people. It made more money than the other 5 films nominated combined. Now, that should tell you something, and it's pretty simple. $428 million is more than the others combined. It's substantially more. That just shows you how much word of mouth this was, what this movie really meant to a lot of people. It really struck a chord with many people because of what Chris Kyle means to this country, the things that he did to protect us. I just think everything that it meant, everything it stood for, clearly was a reflection of how many people went out to the box office and supported it.
Now, with that being said, there was a lot of controversy surrounding this movie, and that could be one of the things that was, kept in the mind of certain people when, I guess for, voting for this movie. But just talk a little bit about that controversy and what went down.
Well, it's interesting because right now, right along with the Oscars, we've had the trial of his killer currently going on in Texas. Actually, they're going to make a determination in the next couple of days, but it's very interesting, the timing of this, and a lot of people in the media have been really thinking that, the person on trial here for killing Chris Kyle really is not going to get any sympathy from the jury. You just look at how he's kind of been elevated to a hero, rightfully so, for everything that he did. Really going to be hard for anyone out there to really go against what Chris Kyle did.
Bradley Cooper's performance in this movie has been noted to be a stellar one, to say the least. In some movie critics' opinions, I remember one in particular, Edelstein had quoted Cooper saying that, the movie didn't impress too much, but Bradley Cooper's aim was true. Now, taking that into consideration, did Bradley Cooper's actions during this movie, how did you feel he performed during this movie, and did that play into whether or not it was selected as the best picture?
I thought he was excellent. I really did. When you just look at him, I remember watching a little demo beforehand of the movie when it was first coming out, and you could just see how much Chris Kyle really meant to Bradley Cooper. This is a guy who would wear shoes he had from Chris Kyle because that's how much inspired he was from his story, from everything that he did. You could just see there was an emotional connection there. He really, it meant a lot to him to play the role of this American hero. And I think that's clear a reflection of how well his performance was. And even the critics of the movie, some of them even said how good Bradley Cooper is. So if the critics aren't enough, I don't know what else is. Bradley Cooper did a great job.
It grossed more than $400 million worldwide in the box office, but yet it could not take down Birdman, a film that grossed only $76 million worldwide. Jersey Joe Archino, Anthony Carlo, right here on your Oscar Breakdown.
Hello, I'm Johnny with Kelly, and towards the end of the night, this year's Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role went to Julianne Moore for her portrayal of Dr. Alice Holland in Still Alice. The film has Moore playing a world-renowned linguist who is diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's disease and chronicles her struggles to maintain her dignity and family as her health deteriorates. The performance has led to both rave reviews and is credited in starting the discussion of Alzheimer's disease, with Moore advocating for research on both the red carpet as well as in her acceptance speech. This was her 5th nomination in her storied career and her very first win. Congratulations, Miss Moore.
Later that night, the Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role went to Eddie Redmayne for his portrayal of Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything. Redmayne brilliantly took us from the beginning of Hawking's relationship with his first wife, Jane, to his success in the study of physics, to the gradual decline of his health due to Hawking's motor neuron disease. This powerful and transformative performance also led to rave reviews for Redmayne, and with the stunning performance of the entire cast and crew, the film's 5 nominations. This was also Redmayne's very first Oscar. Congratulations, Mr. Redmayne.
The ceremonies rolled on as the Academy Award for Best Directing went to Alejandro Inarritu for his efforts in Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Inarritu's dark superhero dramedy is about a washed-up Hollywood actor, Regan Thompson, struggling to regain both his fame and grasp on reality by producing a play on Broadway. This has earned the director both critical acclaim and his 2nd Oscar of the night, after being previously awarded for one for Best Original Screenplay. One can see why Birdman resonated well with many different actors and actresses, as it contained dazzling cinematography and was able to successfully reveal the behind-the-scenes and world of Broadway and Hollywood. Congratulations to your first Best Actor win, Mr. Inarritu.
The night didn't end there for Mr. Inarritu, as he would soon take the stage and Oscar for Best Picture, the final award for the night. Birdman continues his streak, having each of his 5 feature films being nominated for an Oscar, and his first win for Best Picture. With actors such as Michael Keaton, Edward Norton, and Emma Stone under his direction, he was able to craft a film that was met with a tremendous reception and cult following. This would raise Birdman's tally for 4 awards of the night, which interestingly enough came into the night tying with Wes Anderson's The Grand Budapest Hotel at 9 nominations, and left the night tied with the most wins at 4 apiece. He took the stage to dedicate his Oscar win to his fellow Mexicans, as this is the 2nd year in a row that a Mexican director has won Best Director at the Academy Awards, with Alfonso Cuarón winning last year for Gravity. Congratulations, Mr. Inarritu, and the entire cast and crew. This was Callie and Johnny. Let's head back to Olivia and Brian in the studio.
That's all the time we have here with ICTV. I'm Brian Walsh.
And I'm Olivia Carey. Thank you for watching.